Good evening, my fellow entities, and welcome to the Lair of Filmer. Tonight we will be reviewing A Christmas Story. In the 1940s, a young boy named Ralphie Parker attempts to convince his parents, teacher, and Santa Claus that a Red Ryder Ranger 200-shot BB gun really is the perfect Christmas gift. Now, I know a lot of people really like this movie. My father really likes this movie, but for some odd reason, it didn't really get the effect that I was hoping. I mean, for me, it's okay. I mean, a lot of people say it's their favorite Christmas movie. They say it's really good. They say it's amazing. They say it's one of the best ones out there, but I don't know. I guess maybe it's just kind of lost its edge for me. And, I mean, this is the first time I've seen this movie. I've never seen it before, and I've only seen, like, very, very small snippets of it, but it just didn't have the same effect. I mean, I do like some parts in it, like, I really like the whole you'll shoot your eye out gag where everyone's saying it to him. I actually kind of made this whole big thing where, after I saw the Santa Claus scene, I'm like, you'll shoot your eye out, kid, and have a boot. It's kind of funny, if you think about it that way. There's a lot of references to The Wizard of Oz, which I get was a big movie during the 40s, and it's one of the best movies out there, but I guess I kind of like those scenes, but also they didn't really have the impact. Like, oh hey, it's Wizard of Oz. Like, I get if we were still in the 80s, but I didn't really care for it. I did kind of like the joke about the leg, how it's supposed to be a major award, how the father is obsessed with it, how the sons are mesmerized by it, and the wife is just so displeased with it being in her house because it's an awkward thing to have in your house as a lamp. I kind of found it a bit funny, like chuckle funny, that he keeps announcing it as this big reward, this big prize that he won from somewhere. But that's about it. I did chuckle a bit. The idea that he thinks he's gonna get an entire bowling alley. I did kind of like the scene with us, how they're trying to explain or make you a bit afraid of Scut Farkus and his lackey Dill, but I mean, it's your typical bully. He kind of did get what was coming to him by getting beaten up by Ralphie. It kind of felt like a Goonies episode for the most part, with the whole speed running. I kind of chuckled at the scenes where they're going back and forth from school to home to school. Because it is kind of funny with the squeaky voices and how it's fast forwarded. But again, chuckle funny. Again, I did like the whole you'll shoot your eye out thing, where he does end up breaking his glasses or shooting his glasses off. Instead of shooting his eye, and he's just freaked out, and then he breaks his glasses, and like most kids, he freaks out and starts crying to make his family think something completely different than he wasn't paying attention, and it shot him through the glasses. I also love how it's like Rugrats in a way, where the kid thinks that he's the shit just because he wrote a paper about this gun that he wants for Christmas, and he thinks that the teacher is just gonna fall in love with it and is just going to... It's like you see in a lot of cartoons where it's that very cartoony moment where either the teacher turns into a devil, where he or she kind of turns into the Wicked Witch of the West, or East, whichever one. And here, like, it's very cartoony, this movie. It's like, it was one of the few movies that I know of that tried to be very cartoony in the sense that they had the whole, if my teacher gives me a C, they're a villain, they're this bad character. It's kind of like what they did with Shark Boy and Lava Girl, except minus the imagination land and all the dreams and stuff like that. Where here it's daydreams and just like, it's somewhat tame for a cartoony-esque movie, but it's still trying to be cartoony. I also kind of like how they tried doing it from the point of view of the kid, or from... They tried to do it so we figured that it was the kid watching or thinking about this as an adult, telling everyone his childhood story. But I also didn't really like the narrator. I mean, I get what they were doing. It kind of works in its own way, but it just kind of took me out of the story a few times. Like, I would have been better off just watching the story play out, just watching everything happen without the background context. Like, I didn't really care about what the narrator was saying. I was trying to watch the movie, and then out comes the narrator out of nowhere trying to explain something to me, and it's taking me out of the experience of the movie. And again, I get that was a big thing in the 80s where there had to be a narrator for some movies, but it just wasn't really needed in this movie. I did kind of like the small jokes about the furnace and where the father's just mumbling all these curse words that you can't really tell what they are because it's a kid's movie and they kind of jumbled them up and made them different words. And it's kind of funny, like, it's this big battle between the father and a furnace because he refuses to he either doesn't have the money to, or he refuses to get it fixed, or get an electric one, if there was one during that time. There's also, I did like the whole dog thing at the end, where all the dogs just appear out of nowhere, running into the house, sneaking past the father and eating the turkey. That was kind of funny. And the ending where they're at the Chinese restaurant, we get to see a Chinese Thanksgiving, where instead of a turkey, it's a duck, and then the father's like, it's nice, but it's smiling at me. And then the Chinese guy chops off the head, and it's just like, I guess that's better? I mean, I kind of like that joke. I like, that was a really good scene, them having Thanksgiving in the Chinese restaurant because of the dogs. It's a brilliant scene, and I will admit it's one of my favorites in this movie. But that's about it. I mean, I don't know. I've never seen this movie before, and watching it now, it's a bit outdated. It's a bit, it's a relic of its time, and if I watched it during that time, I might have been a bit more excited, but nowadays it's just not my thing, and it's not my favorite. So I will give it credit for being a really good Christmas movie and trying its best, but I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to give it 5 out of 10 for not really impressing me, but it did do its job trying to relay Christmas Story. I did like it I would have liked it a lot better without the narration. The jokes were a bit outdated, but they did get me chuckling a bit. So yeah, I'm giving it half, because it deserves at least something for how many hearts it's actually touched and how many people it's actually made enjoy Christmas each year. I mean, it says here that it used to play a lot on Christmas. It was in 2012. It was awarded, or it was preserved in the United States National Film Registry by the Library of Congress for being cultural, historical, and authentically significant. And it's labeled as one of the best Christmas movies. And in 1997 and 2004, it was consistently played 12 consecutive airings from the evening of Christmas Eve to the evening of Christmas Day annually. So that's gotta count for something. So yeah, 5 out of 10. Sorry to anyone who doesn't like that. Again, it's not my favorite, but it's still a pretty good Christmas movie, and I will give it that. Have a great night, guys, and Merry Christmas, and have a blessed Yule.